Okay, so I'm going to deliver the session in English. It's great to see so many familiar faces. So this is my sixth round now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sixth round of participating on Facework Ukraine and delivering presentations, lessons, sessions.
It's maybe 12th presentation.
My 12th probably presentation, but this is my sixth round. This is the sixth course, and yeah, so basically I have started, I was together with Helena, so we were at the very, very beginning, so that's when I started. And we started with a few people, and have a look how many people we have now. So we've expanded, and it's a pleasure to see so many of you who are coming back. Yeah, so I can see so many familiar faces, so it's amazing. It's a pleasure. So for those who don't know me, I'm Zoryana, and my main job, well, at the moment I'm a manager. At the moment I'm a program area manager working in an FE college, further education college, in the community learning, responsible for quality of teaching and learning. But my main experience is teaching, so I am a teacher. I've been a teacher all my life. So I've been teaching English as a second language, as a foreign language, so I'm an ESOL teacher. So those of you who are attending ESOL classes, I don't need to explain. And I'm also an employability trainer, employability teacher, so I support my students with the job search and train them and help them and support them throughout their journey to get the jobs, help them to get the job. So today's session, job interview. So what are your expectations and what I can help you with? So we don't really have much time. It's only 1.5 hours. So so I don't think I will be able to cover everything what I have planned. So it depends on your needs, on your expectations. So if you want me to focus more on this or another, let's say, aspect, please let me know. So, job interviews. How much experience do you have with job interviews in the UK? Who has recently attended a job interview? In August.
It's not so recently.
It is recent, it is quite recent, okay. And how was it? Would anyone like to share the experience? How was it?
It was online interview.
Okay.
It was like, it's supposed to be that several interview, but eventually it was like one interview. Afterwards I will have to complete many forms and to pass online learning, and now I have been waiting for a job offer. For me, like, I felt previously more confident during, for instance, my last interview. Unfortunately, I had some issues with connection via Teams from my laptop. Unfortunately, I was able to join from my phone, and a manager who interviewed me, she was like able to wait for me, and I just apologized, and I tried to have smile, like face on my face, to smile during this interview, and I prepared really thoroughly. I spent maybe roughly 2 weeks for preparation. Like I made some research, notes, and
Amazing.
I asked my acquaintances for pieces of advice or for mock interview, and for that very moment it was successful. But I'm a little bit frustrated because I don't know for how many time I will have to wait for a real job offer, even it's temporary jobs within NHS. It's like reservists role.
So have you been successful?
Yes, but like I haven't.
Congratulations.
I haven't received a job offer, and for now, like I will try to apply for literally any job because I will need to start working as soon as
Amazing. Lovely. Okay. Anyone else? Natalia, have you been successful?
I've been successful in my very first interview here in UK, and I received a job in the restaurant called the Ivy in Canary Wharf.
Mm-hmm.
Used to work there 1 year, and then just moved to the original Ivy, to the Covent Garden. And I used to work there half years. So I don't know, maybe I'm just lucky. I know it's much more easier to find a job in the hospitality sector,
Mm.
and because I have experience.
You have experience.
For me, it was easy, but it was successful. But I applied for the waiter job
Mm-hmm.
this month in 2022 because I wasn't sure about my English, about everything. I thought, oh my God, it's London.
Okay.
I have to start from the beginning to have a look how it works here. And
Okay.
just understand that you don't have to afraid that you can't do something.
Absolutely. You just have to believe in yourself. Self-confidence is number one. Okay. So what are your major interview challenges? What is the most difficult for you when it comes to a job interview? What is the most difficult?
To be calm.
To be
Calm.
calm. Okay. So you're saying you're stressed. Okay. And to be calm. Okay. Anybody else? Or shall we just do this? If you don't mind scanning this code and put your answers here, please. So 1 word, 2 words in English, in Ukrainian. How do you feel? What is your main problem? What is the biggest challenge at the job interview for you? So stress.
To show that you are really professional. To show that you are really professional. And you can lead and you can work with this company because interview is too short and your knowledge so huge.
Mm.
How to sell themselves.
To sell yourself.
Yeah, to sell themselves in the best way.
Okay. Okay. Угу. Okay. Ні, сюди. It's not that one. Sorry. Okay, I'm just trying to get your answers here, but I don't see them.
It's the one in the middle.
No. Okay, is that the one now? I hope so. Yeah, thank you. Present. Thank you. Okay. Right, so what are your major challenges? So, okay, do you want to say what you've written down? So keeping calm is a problem. Lack of confidence, uncertainty, language probe, keeping calm, stress, salary expectation questions, not knowing what to answer, what to say, making mistakes in English, knowing answers to the questions, to answer questions briefly, concisely, and to survive. Who has written to survive? Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. Okay, so now I'm just trying to exit that. I don't think I can do that. So apologies, I'm working on a different computer, so.
There was a little cross when you moved your
Yeah,
mouse,
yeah.
there was a little cross in the left upper corner. But you have to
Apologies. Apologies. Я хочу вийти звідси. Та я нажимаю фондинал, це неможливо. Окей. Okay. Right, so what do you think you can do to overcome those challenges? What do you think? To make, sorry?
To make research and prepare.
To do the research. So what is the key to success? Is the preparation, to prepare for the job interview questions. So how can you expect what questions you could be asked? Can you predict the questions you could be asked? Sorry? You can Google them, okay?
Yes.
Anything else?
Sometimes in YouTube, it will be even short videos,
Mm-hmm.
particular questions which may ask a certain organization or company, but of course it's not available for every company.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the preparation is the key. And so let me just, okay, so technology is letting me down today from the very beginning. Oh my goodness. So the preparation is the key. I have to, yeah, just a minute. No, I don't see it. Okay. No, I'm not going to use that one. I'm just going to move it around like it is. So that's not a good idea to use the mouse. Okay, so preparation is the key. Thank you. So preparation is the key. Okay, preparation is the key, and you can prepare the questions. You can Google them. Okay, any other ideas how you can prepare the questions? Yes.
Today I have come across like one article who was on LinkedIn, and it was suggested by one of the coaches, where like we found one, and he said like you can copy the job description of like the job you're applying to, and then put it into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to write like 10 most common questions for the interview, and then ask ChatGPT to answer those questions using the model like content, then result, action, and something else. I forgot. So it will help you to build up your answer and to understand how to do that. Also the cover letter, to prepare it quite different way, and to prepare it like through pain, which pain you will resolve like in that position, and also like to somehow insert there a hook that you should be hired like for that position. But omit the standard cover letter that we are used to, like I'm pleased, I'm happy to apply for this position, something like that, but in a kind of storytelling way. So this is the new approach that he suggests.
Yeah, that is the approach actually that I wanted to cover as well today, how to use AI, artificial intelligence, to use ChatGPT in order to help you to prepare for the interview. And I have prepared some some prompts for you, and which you can use to talk to ChatGPT. So here is the one. So you open ChatGPT and you start practicing your job interview with the ChatGPT, with artificial intelligence, for any position you want. So basically there is, I just tried to open ChatGPT and show you in practice how to do that, because there are more new functions in ChatGPT. So you can, as Oksana mentioned, you can upload the job description, you can upload your CV, you can upload your cover letter into ChatGPT, and you can ask the ChatGPT to produce the questions for that particular job you're applying for, as well as possible answers based on your experience, based on what you can offer as well. I wanted to demonstrate that today, but unfortunately we had technical problems and I wasn't able to log in to ChatGPT, so I'm not able to show it to you. But what I can, what I have prepared is the prompts, because what is the most important thing is to know how to write to ChatGPT, what to write, what to say, how to set the task to ChatGPT in order to get the correct answer. So once you open the, so who has experience using ChatGPT to help you prepare for the interview questions?
I think everybody.
Everybody, okay. No? Okay. My advice, start using it. It's an amazing tool which can help you, in not just to prepare for a job interview. It can help you with anything, really. You just need to become a friend of it and start using it properly, learn how to use it properly. So, what is prompts? It's important to know how to write these prompts, correctly. So you start practicing your job interview with the ChatGPT for any position you want. So, and this is the prompt. This is the prompt you have to write to set the task. So, this is what you have to write. Act as an interviewer. I will be the candidate, and you will ask me the interview questions for the, and instead of ESOL teaching position, you can use any position you want, any position you are applying for. I want you to only reply as the interviewer. Do not write all the conversation at once. I want you to only do the interview with me. Ask me the questions and wait for my answers. Do not write explanations. Ask me the questions one by one, like the interviewer does, and wait for my answers. So my first sentence is, hi. And then you start chatting, you start speaking to ChatGPT, to basically your virtual interviewer, okay? So you can do this in writing, but these days, I don't know when this function has become available, you can use the voice function. Has anybody tried to use the voice function? Have you? Voice. You don't have to write, you can speak to ChatGPT. So basically, but you have to install a special, did you do it on the phone or on the computer?
On my phone, like you install an app and you can have.
It's easier on the phone. It's much, much easier on the phone. On the computer, I am not able to demonstrate because I can't log on. I can't log into ChatGPT today. Yes?
Do you want to use another artificial intelligence, which is like...
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's called Perplexity. You can just find it. It's open if you want to show.
Absolutely. You can actually choose any. There are so many apps now that you can just, but you just choose the one which works best for you and which is free, of course, because you don't want to pay. Have you tried that?
Yeah.
You have? What is the name?
Perplexity.
Yeah, so there are so many, but I try not to jump from one to another. So for example, when I use ChatGPT, I try to stick to one if it works for me. So you have to choose something which works for you. And I've also done the course on using ChatGPT in teaching as well. So basically, this works for me perfectly. So that's what I've been using. Right. So if you are interested, if you want to know how to install that, I can give you the instructions later. I'm not going to experiment today. Okay, so we were talking about the ChatGPT and about the artificial intelligence. And what I have prepared some resources for you here that I'm happy to share. So there are some ready-made questions with the possible answers that you could be asked at the job interview. And I think they are quite useful because they are for different positions. Can you see that? So you can choose a position you are applying for. There are plenty of them here. And okay, just tell me which one you want me to choose now. Which one do you want me to choose? Which one?
Regulatory affairs manager.
Is here? Up.
This one.
That one, okay. So, here you can find all possible questions you could be asked, specific questions you could be asked when you're applying for this position with possible answers. I find it really useful when it comes to specific questions, yeah? So you could use that as the guide. So there are plenty of them. And okay, let's go back to that. Right. And okay. So going back to the techniques. So how to be successful, how to ace the job interview, and how to land, to get your dream job. Preparation is the key. Preparation is the key to success, and that's for sure. So if you don't prepare, it's absolutely very difficult to get a job if you don't prepare. So preparation, practice, positive attitude, and passion. So you have to show that you are passionate about the job, and confident as well. So personally, I prioritize quality over quantity, and it does work. So I can share with you with my own recent experience applying for jobs. So I got a new job approximately a month ago. So I've applied just for one job, and I was successful. I was shortlisted for a job interview. I went to a job interview, and I got the job. So it was just one job interview, and I was successful. Yes, it took me a long time to prepare. It's a long process, and it's hard work. And I believe in hard work because it does pay off at the end. So what tips I would like to share with you is study the job description. The job description, every job you are applying for has got a job description. So what is the job description? Job description?
You can see the qualifications you need to
absolutely. So it outlines the requirements for the job, what qualifications, what skills, what experience they want you to have in order to be successful for that job, in order to be shortlisted for that job. So yes, so job description is a very important thing. So you do your research about the company, you prepare the questions, the possible questions, use ChatGPT, use any artificial intelligence app, whichever works for you. Try whatever works for you. Prepare for the questions and the answers. Upload your CV onto ChatGPT or another artificial intelligence app. Your CV, the job description, you can upload quite a few documents, one by one after another one. And I don't know what about the other apps, but the ChatGPT, it does remember, it does keep it in memory. So when you send one document, then another one, then another one, then another one, and then you ask ChatGPT to produce a list of questions for that particular position, it remembers all the documents that you have sent, which is your CV, the job description, or for the job that you are applying for. And then it produces those questions and the possible answers. So what do you do with that? You take those questions, you take those answers, see whether you can adapt and tailor those questions accordingly to those questions. Try to use it as a frame, like a template. So, okay, this is the question and that is the answer. Can I use that? Can I use that answer? Okay, how can I change it? The language is too difficult. Don't use the language that is too difficult. Ask ChatGPT, please simplify, make it simple. So my advice is don't use difficult language you don't understand. It doesn't work. Don't try to memorize your answers. Yes, the problem is the language, yes, because this is your second language. This is not your first language. You are learning the language. But don't consider it as a weakness. Try to consider it as a strength, because when you speak another language, when English is not your first language, it means this is your strength, not a weakness, because it means you speak another language, one more language. So, and what, okay, confident, be passionate. So what are the most typical questions that you could be asked at the job interview? Tell me something about yourself, absolutely. Tell me about yourself. So how can you answer this question? Is it a simple question?
Not really.
Not really. It's not a simple question at all. How can you answer this question if you don't prepare in advance? Can you answer this question if you don't prepare in advance? No, not really. So I don't know whether you've attended my last session. My last session was English for Work. I gave an example how to prepare an elevator pitch, how to write an elevator pitch. So the best answer for the question, tell me about yourself, would be elevator pitch. So what is an elevator pitch? Does anyone remember? What is an elevator pitch?
You should tell about yourself while you're like going up or down in the elevator.
Absolutely. So, tell me about yourself is an elevator pitch. You can use this as the answer to the question, tell me about yourself. And that is like a short story about you, which is very, very short, but very meaningful, very, very meaningful. So sometimes when they ask you this question, okay, tell me about yourself. And then you think, oh my God, what shall I say? But you only think, what shall I say, if you haven't prepared. But if you have prepared, if you thought about this question, and this is one of the most typical questions you will be asked anyway. So please make sure that you prepare, you write it down, and you practice, and you have it ready. You can have like a general one about yourself, but it sounds a bit boring if you just say what you do, what experience you have, what qualifications you have. This is simple, right? Simple, and this is what they can see from your CV, this is what they can see from your application form. How can you make it stand out? How can you make it unique? You want, tell me about yourself, with an elevator pitch, what is happening? You are making the first impression. And whatever you say in the first few minutes, seconds of your job interview, when you answer the question, tell me about yourself, is you make an impression. You make an impression, and you have to sell yourself within these few minutes, 1-2 minutes, and then they want to listen to your other answers. They're interested. You have to intrigue them, okay? So how do you do that? So answering the question, tell me about yourself, prepare an elevator pitch. I'll share the resources with you later on if you don't have them. So what do you do? Why does it matter what you do? Why? Why is it important what you do? Okay? Why do you do it? What makes you different or unique in this field? And how do you stand out? Stand out? You are the best, right? You are unique. You are the best, okay? So how do you stand out? What is unique about you? Okay, and what benefit would you like to bring to the world? Right. And if you are making a career change, I don't think I will be able to. I'm really struggling today with this. Okay. So, and if you are making a career change, how do your current skills and experiences relate to where you want to be? So if you want an example, there are quite a few examples here. One of them is mine, but I don't think I have amended it, so I'm not going to open my other one. Sorry, it's a bit slow. So I'm an ESOL lecturer. Okay, I haven't amended it to the manager. Okay, so I'm an ESOL lecturer with extensive experience of teaching English as a foreign language. I make a difference in my students' lives, and that is what inspires me and motivates me the most. I help my students to succeed in their challenging learning journey. I'm really passionate about integrating innovative teaching methods and technology, which has made my lessons more engaging, fun, and effective. Sharing best practices through teacher training has enhanced my teaching quality and other things. So basically, it's a bit too much, so I'll have to amend it slightly. And if you're interested to see some more, there are some more examples here. So there are a few examples based on different sectors, job sectors, elevator pitch, yeah? So some examples for job seekers, and then there are some examples how you can, they are quite simple, so you can amend them for different jobs, yeah, for different jobs here, okay, as an example. Right, I have to go back. Right, so another very important thing, a tip, let's say, that I would like to share with you is a STAR method. Have you heard of a STAR method? Yeah? Okay, so when you answer questions, any question, doesn't matter what question you are asked, you have to give an example. So make sure every time, whenever you go to a job interview, when you prepare answers to questions, don't give short answers, because short and very vague answers don't mean anything. For each answer, for each question, you prepare the answer with an example from your experience. So for example, if there is a question, let's say, what skills can you bring to this job? How would you answer this question? What skills can you bring to this job? Let's say you are applying for a customer service assistant, or you are applying for a hospitality job, like a waitress or a catering assistant somewhere, and they ask you a question, what skills can you bring to this job?
I like communicating with people.
This is what you like doing. Is it a skill?
Yeah, as a result,
As the result.
I'm very successful in this field.
I like communicating with people, yes. So this, and you can say I'm very good at communicating with people. So basically, you have to give an example. If you say that, it's not sufficient just to say, oh, I like communicating with people. You have to say, you have to give an example, what you've done, when you've done, and some example to prove and to give evidence and to show, to demonstrate the skill. So you don't just say that I am friendly, I am dedicated, positive. Yes, everybody can say that, but you have to specify, you have to give examples from your previous job, from your previous experience or from your learning experience, let's say. When you say, oh, I like communicating with people, and then when you said that, so I'm very sociable, I'm very friendly, I'm polite, and I like communicating with people, and that's it? No, this is not enough. What does it mean? It means you have to say, in my job, or when I worked as a waitress in that restaurant from that year to that year, I had to deal, or I was working in a team of 5 or something, and we had, for example, the restaurant that could accommodate 200 customers or something, and I was in charge. So you have to give an example. So it's not enough just to say, I like communicating with people, and that's it. So you have to give an example. So whenever you are asked a question, this is the model that you have to follow. Let's say the situation, okay? Then the task, explain what you were doing, and actions, describe what actions you took and the skills you used, and the result. What result did it have? What impact did it have? So, for example, the question, let's have a look at one example. Tell me about the time you worked well in a team. Can you see the question? Tell me about the time when you worked well in a team. So the person being interviewed has used this, their own personal experience of working in a group on a shop project, on a school project, sorry. So this is the answer. So you only need like 4-5 sentences to answer that question, but make sure that you describe the situation. So I was working on a school project in teams. Then task. What task did you have to complete? Were you assigned with? We needed to create and advertise a perfume themed on winter, but we weren't getting anywhere. So you are describing the task, and then you are describing that there was a problem. Nobody could solve the problem. So now you are not only showing what you did as an action. I arranged an extra planning session to organize responsibilities and monitored progress. So you don't only show what you did, you also show how you did it. So you also show not only what you did, but how you did it. You also show your skill, that you are a problem solver, that you are very good at resolving a problem, not just doing something. And then the result. What result did it have? So we achieved a good score in the final judging, and the group appreciated my organizational skills. And we can also say solving skills. So that's the STAR method. Yes, so I'm going to share that with you, but so that you remember what you're doing. And so remember, any question you answer, try to follow this STAR method, STAR model, okay? Right, let me just close that. Okay, right, so what are the most difficult questions are for you? Which questions do you find the most difficult to answer?
What about your weaknesses?
Your weaknesses, absolutely. Why do you think it's so difficult to answer this question?
Because this is a question with a trick. You should show your weaknesses through your status.
You should.
You should show your weaknesses
Mhm.
and also show your heart.
Character?
Yeah, heart.
Your personality.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you really think that you should show your weaknesses, your real weaknesses?
Yeah, but I'm bad at lying.
Why do you think they ask you this question?
Because they want to know how you deal with this.
Because they want to know how you deal with this. Absolutely. So, why is it difficult to answer this question?
It's difficult because it's some kind of some analysis, and you should find these weaknesses, not lying, but you should know how you turn these weaknesses into your straight state.
Into the strength. Yeah, absolutely, into the strength. And another thing, yes, so this is the question about your self-awareness. Can you actually analyze yourself? Do you know yourself? Do you know what you can do well? Do you know what you need to work on? So this is a very, very important skill, and they are checking if you have this skill, if you work on yourself, if you have the skill, and if you have the knowledge and the skill, and also the desire to work on yourself. Do you know what you can improve in yourself, and what do you do about it? So that's very, very, very important, because when you are in a job, when you don't do something, when for example you make a mistake or you're not very good at something, which is obvious at the very beginning, we all learn. And if we know, if we analyze, if we self-reflect, if we know what we need to work on, and we do that, so that's really, really important. So if you know how to work on yourself, to improve yourself, to make yourself better, it means that you can work on anything, you can improve on any area, and you can help other people, others to improve as well. So basically they are checking your self-awareness, and when answering, and self-reflection as well, and whether you are open for a change, and whether you are open on self-development, it's called, whether you are working on developing yourself. So when they ask you this question, it's very, very important to not to choose a weakness which is crucial for that job, for that particular job. Let's say if you're applying for a customer service assistant where one of the most important skills is communication, yeah, you cannot say that communication is your weakness, obviously. So you have to be very careful when you choose to talk about your weaknesses. You don't really have to be very, very, very honest and open up if you think that this may not be good and you may not get a job if you say about that weakness, you know. So you have to be really very selective when you talk about your weaknesses. So you can choose something which is not very, you know, game-changing, let's say, which is not very important for that particular job. But again, if you say, for example, if you try to turn the weakness into the strength, for example, Yulia, so do you know your weakness? Can you give us an example? Do you know your weakness?
Yeah, I'm very stubborn.
You're very stubborn.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's helped me to reach a success because I'm very. It helped me to be perseverant.
Mm-hmm.
And to be curious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think it's good because I always move to result, and I always want to achieve the result. Maybe it's I have one weakness to problem with delegating the tasks, but I work hard. And I want to.
Do you think it's a weakness?
No.
Delegating tasks? You
Because
cannot
I
delegate.
delegate.
You do it yourself.
Yeah, because I know that I can deal by myself maybe
Better.
Yeah, better.
Better. Okay. And very good example, very good example. But I think that this is the beginning of your answer. Then you have to show the employer, the interviewer, what you do about it. What
I do.
actions, exactly, are you working on this? Are you trying to change yourself? If it is a weakness which you cannot turn into the strength, yeah, so it's a weakness, okay, I'm not happy with that, right? What are you doing about it? What have you done about it to become better or to overcome this challenge and to make it a strength, let's say? So what are you doing about that?
I try to work more with my command, with my team, and to share my responsibilities with this member of team, and try to communicate more and more, because it's very important to show them that they are really responsible for this tasking, and they should pay more attention how to do it correctly without any mistakes. And it's helped me to build my leadership and to be for my team like an example and lead by myself.
Okay, lovely, brilliant. So these are the tips, yeah, how you deal with that. Here are some worksheets for you for later. We are not going to do it now. So here is like one example, okay? So this is one of the examples of adapted, you know, slightly adapted. The language is a bit adapted from Indeed. You are familiar with Indeed, yeah? Okay. So let's have a look at this example. Because I love my work and have ambitious career goals, it can be difficult for me to keep a healthy balance between work and my personal life. I have seen a negative impact on my motivation when I ignore my personal needs. So this is definitely a weakness, right? Because I cannot find balance. I cannot find balance between my work and my personal life. Yes, I'm crazy about work and I have no time left for my personal life, for rest, which has a negative impact on me, on my health, which consequently in the future may affect my work as the result. So if you don't look after your health, if you don't look after your well-being, and if you just spend time working, that's not good either. Because in the long term, it will not work. You will burn out. You will burn out, you will get sick. So this is a weakness. Does everyone agree? Yes. So, as the result, I have worked on this is what the person is doing to change, to improve, to get better. So, as the result, I have worked on creating space in my schedule to spend more time with my family. Taking small actions like putting my phone on silent during dinner time is helpful. When I maintain a good work-life balance, I can be more productive and I feel excited about coming to work in the morning. So you don't have to say this. You can, for example, if, for example, you see yourself in this, you can choose another option, another action, let's say. What do you do? What are you doing to improve? Yeah? What are you doing to improve on your weaknesses? What have you done to improve on your weaknesses? So, for example, I could say, I have joined the gym and I try to be consistent and I go to the gym twice a week and it's really helpful. It helps me to relax. So I have to find time, yeah. Okay, so, and here are some tips, okay? How to do that. So you identify the weakness and you take the improvement measures. We're not going to do these exercises, but I do have this exercise on the word wall, but I'm conscious about the time. Do you want to try to match weaknesses with possible answers? Or you're going to do it later, right? So because I'm very conscious about the time, yeah? So you can do it later. Oops, and I lost my mouse again. No, it's here. Okay. Right. So here are some questions, weaknesses and possible answers, how you can answer what you do, what you are doing to improve, to get better. Okay? And then there will be the opportunity for you to write some weaknesses and what you're doing. So basically, it's a very good exercise because it makes you think. Because sometimes you don't think. Sometimes people tell you what you are good at. You maybe know what you are not very good at. So sometimes it's a bit of like self-analysis. Yeah, is it difficult to self-reflect or no? What do you think? Yeah, analysis. Not easy. Not easy. Boring? Why is it boring?
Because for me, it was interesting to watch Netflix or go to museum or to parks and analyze my weaknesses for some interview.
But this is part of your job for the interview, to prepare for a job interview.
But you ask why is it difficult? It's for me difficult because it's boring for me.
And you prefer to enjoy your life rather than prepare, you know.
To be honest, yeah.
Okay. I appreciate it, and I don't blame you. Oops. Okay, let's have a look.
It can be a little depression.
Depressive.
Depressive when you begin
Yeah.
to analyze yourself.
Okay. Right. So what else I would like to share with you? I have got some typical questions and some answers here, and I will share that with you. So the whole presentation, I will share that with you, so there is no problem on the chat. WhatsApp chat? WhatsApp group? Yeah. Okay. So, right. So let's have a look at one of the questions. Tell me about the time you overcame an obstacle. Obstacle? A challenge? A problem? Yeah? Huh? Hurdle, yeah. Okay, so employers ask this question. Why do they ask? To understand how you deal with difficulties, okay? So some questions, for example, lots of questions that employers ask, you know, the interviewers ask, are very similar. They are just worded differently. Do you see what I mean? So you have to prepare for the most typical questions. Like, for example, for this, how do you handle stress? How do you, like, for example, tell me about the time you overcame an obstacle. An obstacle, a problem, a hurdle, so it's stressful, right? So if they ask you another question, how do you handle stress? Give me an example of the stressful situation and what you did. Yeah? So every time there is a question about that, every time. So even if it's worded differently, they use different words, they mean really the same thing. And sometimes if you don't know how to answer the question because you prepared, for example, about the stress, but it's very similar, you can use that answer and you can answer that question easily because you have the example from your experience prepared. You have the example from your experience prepared. So make sure that for every single question you have the answer and plus the example from your own experience. Because when you give just vague answers, they don't mean anything. They don't mean absolutely anything. So let's have a look at this. So tell me about the time you overcame an obstacle. So the employers ask this question to understand how you deal with difficulties. You can use the STAR method when answering this type of questions. So, and you have to give a brief summary of the situation, your role in the situation, what you did, and the action you put into place to resolve the problem, to resolve the issue. So for example, this is an example. Like, I worked as a retail manager at a department store during prom season. Prom? Выпускной. A customer purchased a dress online and had it delivered to the store where it was accidentally purchased by another customer. Before calling the original buyer, I located the same dress at another location nearby. I ordered it to be pressed and delivered to her home the morning of prom with a gift card to thank her for her understanding. The customer immediately wrote us a 5-star review on several review sites. So this is an example of the answer using the STAR method. What was the problem? So you describe the situation. What was the problem? Yeah? So a customer bought a dress and it was delivered to the store where it was bought again. So basically 2 purchases and only 1 dress, okay? So one had to be left without a dress. And then what you did, the action, and then what was your role in it, and then what was the result. And then what was the result? So that's a very, very effective way, very effective. Okay, one more thing that I wanted to share with you, because I think that I would share the tips with you as a job seeker, because I've attended lots of job interviews as well, and as the interviewer as well, because at the moment, part of my role is interviewing for jobs as well. And I can see how it happens, what happens, and how it works. So the preparation is the key. That's the key to success. That's for sure. And I do believe in the preparation, and I do believe in hard work, and it does work. So if you prepare for the job interview, if you prepare for questions and you prepare the answers, not empty answers, not vague answers, but each answer supported with an example from your experience. Even if you don't have experience in that area, try to get the experience from somewhere, the example from other experience, because something like communication skills, something like teamwork, something like dealing with problems, with stress, they are all common. We do this, we deal with this in every single area of our life. Even if you don't have a job, you still can get the example from your personal life. For example, you have transferable skills. So it's very, very important not to say no at the job interview, never. So always be positive and always give extended answers, not yes or no answers, because they don't mean anything. So normally you would be asked like up to 10 questions, no more than that, believe me. Up to 10 questions. A few like general ones, like tell me about yourself, and a few more specific questions, specific for the job, for that particular job that you are applying. So if I'm applying for a teacher's job, for example, they would ask me the questions particularly related to teaching, for example. But there will be some general ones as well. And the one with stress, how do you handle stress? And give us an example of a situation when you handle stress successfully is everywhere. Because we live in the world where stress is part of our lives, and we have to deal with it. We cannot avoid it. So when you answer questions, make sure that you don't rush. When you speak, you have a feeling, as the interviewee, you have a feeling that you are slow. No? Or fast. How do you feel? When you answer questions, how do you feel? Yes?
It depends on the type of personality.
Exactly.
Some of us will be faster than usual. Another one will be
Slower.
It depends on the personality.
And what is your feeling? When you perform at the job interview, when you answer questions, what is your feeling?
Personally, as for me and my experience, I will be slower.
Okay, that's probably what you think.
Yeah, it seems to me that I express myself in such way.
That's what we normally think. And this is normal to think like that, because when you answer the questions, you think, oh, I'm too slow. I should be faster. No. Pause. Make pauses. Keep to the average pace when you talk, because it helps the interviewers to process what you are saying. And try not to memorize, the sentences and difficult words and everything. Be natural, be authentic, be yourself. Believe me, it works. When people are fake, you can feel it. Yeah? I know that we have such a saying that fake it until you make it, okay? Fake it until you make it is a good saying when you practice. When you practice, let's say you practice an elevator pitch, and you can practice, tell me about yourself. So you can practice, you can record yourself on the phone, then you can listen, then you can check what you said against what you have written. You can practice, 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 practice. So here, the saying fake it until you make it is great. But when you are at the job interview, be yourself. Don't be fake, because people feel that. And if you are yourself, if you are genuine, you have more chances to be successful. You have more chances to get a job. Because just put yourself in the shoes of the interviewer. Yeah? Put yourself in the shoes of the interviewer. Who do you want to work with? You want a positive person. You want a person who would be genuine, who would be honest, okay? You don't want somebody who is a liar, let's say, yeah. So it is important to be genuine, to be authentic, but don't be negative. So a very common question that is asked at the job interview is, why are you leaving your current job? Or why did you leave your last job?
That's an easy question.
Okay.
Most of us.
For most of you, yes. I absolutely agree with you. Okay. So how can you answer that?
In my case, for instance, I had to vacate from Ukraine.
Absolutely.
It's a war reason.
Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, some of Ukrainians have here currently jobs and change some jobs.
Yes.
That's why for some of us it's an actual question.
Okay. Any more ideas? Let's say you had a job for 2 years and then you're applying for a new one. Why are you leaving this job?
Problem with health. Проблеми зі здоров'ям, не можу більше виконувати цю роботу фізично.
I wouldn't say that I have problems.
Це правда, в мене така ситуація. Фізично більше не можу виконувати цю роботу. Мені треба змінити.
You don't lie, you just don't say that. Yes.
About development, personal development.
Yes,
Career development.
exactly.
I'm looking for opportunities.
I'm looking for opportunities to develop for my career development, yeah? So you don't say anything bad about the company that you worked for. You can't say negative stuff about the company that you worked for. It doesn't matter how bad it was for you there. You can never say anything bad about your previous employer. You cannot say that you had an argument with your boss. You cannot say that you've been fired from your job, or you had an argument and start moaning. People don't like that, and this is not the right way to say, obviously. So you have to think how to answer this question positively, yeah? So that you didn't have the opportunities to develop, or you can say that it's a career change, or that's what you have always wanted to do. Okay, so that was a temporary job and now you are working towards your goal, your professional development and your career growth. But don't say anything negative, never ever, never ever. Okay, and one more thing, just wanted to share my experience again. Confidence, yeah, be confident, be positive, be, even if you don't answer the question very well, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes there are people who answer questions better than you, but you can get a job because they can see more potential in you, and they can see that you are passionate about the job. If you want the job, they can see that. So people who interview the interviewees, they are psychologists, so they can read you, they can see you inside out. So it's very important to show your positive attitude and your passion that you want to do it. If you don't want that job, people will feel that. The interviewers, the employer will feel that you don't want that job. But if you really want that job, you will get it, even if there is somebody with more experience. So the most important is your attitude, is your positive attitude and your passion. The job may be not the one that you want. It's not maybe your ideal job, but if you show your passion, if you show that you are eager to work, that you are hardworking, and that you are really committed to this, so you can show and you can demonstrate that you are committed to that, and you will be the one that they can rely on you. And you won't be the person who would come and, let's say, start taking time off and start coming late and won't be reliable. So you have to demonstrate that you are reliable, that you are flexible, reliable, and you will be committed. So you have to reassure the employer that you are the one. And when you answer the questions, normally there is a scoring system. When you ask the question, let's say when I'm the interviewer, I ask a question, there are 4 or 5 scores, and I have to score your answer, how you answered, let's say. It's like a grade, like at school. When you give the answer, the teacher gives you a score. So the same is here. I don't know how it works in all companies, but in some companies, in majority of the companies, they score your answers. So when, for example, your answer is vague, general, let's say, okay, can you tell me about your experience? And you just say, oh, I worked in the restaurant for 10 years, and that's it, and then you stopped. So it's a very, very vague answer and very, very short, so you have to give examples. You have to give examples, you have to give a full and comprehensive answer. Then you get the maximum as well. So that's important. And normally at the end of the interview, they ask you, what questions do you have? Do you have any questions? So do you know what is important to ask the interviewer? So when it comes to the end of the interview, what do you ask the interviewer? What questions can you ask? About opportunities for growth, yeah? Holidays.
How you will estimate my performance? I mean, like, whether I'm successful at this role or not.
How they will assess your performance, how you are performing. Okay, right. Any other ideas?
Can they suggestion for staff some workshop, seminars, or some study?
Yes.
Included not in my weekends, included in my working hours.
that's not what normally should happen in a company. So you ask about the training opportunities. So it's a very, very good question, and it's a win-win question. So it doesn't matter what job you are applying for, which job you are interviewing, it's a win-win question. So you can never be wrong, you can never go wrong with it. So what training opportunities do you have for your employees? Are there any training opportunities? And you can even be more specific as well. What budget? Do you have a budget for training opportunities, let's say? So it's a very good question because it shows that you are eager to learn and develop, that you are not going just to, stay at the level that you are. Okay. Any other questions?
What about coaching? Do they provide on first period, starting period, some supporting some member of my department? He or she is going to help me according to his duties.
Yes. So you are asking about mentoring. Are you going to provide any mentoring? Or any like support when I start, so that I get familiar with the job. With the job. Okay, let me just have a look. I just wanted to show you. Oh my God. Just wanted to show you some good questions to ask at the end of the interview. Okay. Right. So 3 very good questions that you can ask. Yeah? So, what are the challenges that need to be solved in this role? So when you ask this is a very good question. So when you're, for example, being interviewed for this particular job, for this particular role, you say, what are the challenges that need to be solved in this role? So when you ask this question to the interviewer, it makes them think. So it's not only you who is working hard and answering the questions. You are also making the interviewer think, oh, I have to say what the main challenges are in this role. Yeah? What are the main things that you will have to resolve? So this is a great starting point, and it will give you a real insight into the interviewer's thinking, what they think. It will also demonstrate that you are the type of person who will contribute to the company, who will add value to the company. So the manager's answer to this question can provide you with an understanding as to their true management style, so you can see the manager. So when the manager is interviewing you and when you ask them this question, you can see what type of manager they are. And then you can sort of guess, oh, do I want to work there? Do I want to work with that manager? So you can ask this question and you can see their response, and you can see what type of management style they have. And then, do I want to work there? Do you see what I mean? So that's a very good question. So when they give you a good answer, so if they give you a really high-level generic answer, so they are not really good at what they do, and they wouldn't empower you, they wouldn't make sure that you perform at your best, let's say. So they, for example, just looking for somebody, if they give you like a very simple and generic answer, it means that they are just looking for the person who would follow instructions, and who would just tell you what to do. And you wouldn't have like your say. Yeah. Another very good question is, how do you help your team to develop professionally? That is the one about the professional training, the development, professional development and training. Do you have any courses? Do you provide any training? So this is a great question, as it shows that you are keen to continue growing, that you are not going to stay at the same level and progress in your career. And you can ask some more specific questions. You can ask about the budget, if they have any like money, are they going to pay for that training? But be careful with that as well. Yeah, so don't go too far with that. And another question, how does the work done in this team contribute to the company vision and values? So each company has got values, vision and values. And when you prepare for a job interview, you do your research, you read about the company and what are the values in the company, what is, you know, and they can ask you this question. So that's why it's very, very important to know how to answer. But if you ask them the same question, then you make them think as well. And then you will see if they give you like specific examples, what they do, how their company works, how do they follow the values in the company, then you can sort of have a picture of what they are, how they work, and whether they are serious about what they do and whether it's not just the words, but also actions. So these are very good questions, I would say, that you could ask at the end of the job interview. Okay, but never say that you don't have any questions. Never say you don't have any questions. Right, okay, let's have a look at some more. Yeah?
For example, is the time finished?
Mm-hmm.
I know about such kind of cases,
Mm-hmm.
and there isn't any time for the question. Can I offer that? Can I write my questions or something like that? Because I know the real cases. The time finished and interview finished, and there isn't the time for question.
Wow.
Like
So, did they set you the time?
Yeah.
So, do you remember which role did you apply for?
No, it's not my case. It's a case of a friend of mine. It's real
Okay.
case.
Absolutely, you can write questions, and that is another thing that I wanted to say. After the interview, your next step, okay, your interview is over, and but it's not. So you should follow up with the email and with the telephone call. Normally with the email, with the telephone call as well, to inquire the feedback, for example, or when you would be able to find out about the outcome of the job interview. And if you have some questions, you can definitely write the questions to the employer, and well, hopefully they will answer. If they don't, you would follow up with the telephone call and ask them to respond to that email. So it shows your determination. It shows that you are eager to work there, that you are keen, that you want to work there, and your determination. So it shows your other skill as well, that it's not that I just don't care, I just went to that interview and I don't care. No, you do care. And even if you haven't been successful for a job interview, I know it's difficult to not to get upset, not to get disappointed, because it does have a negative impact. I don't know what about you, but it does have a negative impact on me. You start thinking, well, what is wrong with me? I think I've done really well. Okay, yes, I always have areas for development. I'm not perfect, okay, but why didn't I get a job? And then you get disappointed, and then you get put off, and then it has an impact, negative impact on your confidence. It's true, it does have a negative impact on your confidence, but I think you should change your attitude to this experience, and you should consider the negative, well, not negative outcomes. Let's say you haven't been successful for a job interview. Don't take it as a failure. It's not a failure. It's your learning experience. And after the job interview, I know you're very tired after the job interview. I know you've been stressed. Maybe you haven't slept before the interview. You were worried, you were stressed, you were anxious. These are normal things, okay? Everybody takes it differently. Some people sleep, some people don't sleep, some people, you know, are confident and they just go to the interview and they don't worry about it. Okay, when you left the interview, you just think, the sigh of relief, done, okay? You come home, take a pen and paper, or do it on the computer. Write the questions you were asked. Write the questions and write your answers, how you answered the questions. You will forget. If you don't do it, you will forget. Write the questions and write the answers, how you answered. Then do your homework. How could I have answered this question better? Do your homework, do your work, try to improve, work. I say, oh my God, I forgot to say that. I forgot to answer this question in that way. I didn't include the details. Okay, no problem, write them down. Write them down for future, because next time when you go to the next job interview, you will have this practice. This is like practice in English, you know. You come home, what you've learned at school, what you've learned in the college, in your ESOL lesson or other lesson, you come home and you practice, you consolidate what you've learned in the lesson. So I think you should consider this as your learning experience. Learning from mistakes is learning, is always learning. Don't take it as a failure, because it's not a failure. It's your learning experience. I know it's difficult, but you have to change the way you think. And the more interviews you attend, the more confident you become. And we had one more participant from Facework Ukraine here who had exactly the same approach. She was so happy. She said, it's fun for me to go to job interviews now because I have a job. I don't need a job. I just want to see what's available there at the jobs market. And I want to see, I want to practice. I want to see what they have. And if I find something better, I may change my job. So if you take this as a learning experience, and if you take it positively, change the way you think, then it will work. Because when you are confident, when you go to the job interview, when you are confident, and when you work, and when you improve, when you work on the areas of development, on your weaknesses, let's say, the weaknesses that you identify, then you can see the results. Then you can see the results. So this is my advice, I would say, practical advice, because it does work. And if you, let's say, if language is a barrier, yes, it is a barrier. It's a big barrier because English is not your first language. But I would say just try to write the answers, but don't memorize them. Don't try to remember every word, what you say. No. Try to make it simple and authentic. And even if you do forget something, it's not the end of the world. You know, you can ask the interviewer to repeat the question. You can ask the interviewer to break it down. And believe me, it doesn't work against you. It doesn't work against you. Let's say, you know, when they ask you a question and you immediately forgot it. Does it happen? It does happen because this is normal. You are stressed, and especially if the question is very long. Let's say if the question consists of 2 parts and your answer has to consist of 2 parts, yeah? So by the time you give the answer to the first part of the question, you forget the other one. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Okay, can you write the questions? For example, if the interviewers ask you a question, can you write a question
During interview.
during the interview. Yes, you can write the question.
What for?
What for? I ask you the question. I asked you.
Sure that you want to demonstrate your future management that you can forgot something what they literally right now asking?
No, this is not a weakness, and this is not. It doesn't show that you already forgot what they asked you.
Okay.
You are at the interview, and it's a normal thing just to forget immediately what they've asked you, because that's how your brain works. Not everybody's brain, some people's brain, okay? And you just completely forget. And you just ask them, okay, could you repeat the question, please? And it's not a problem. You don't get fewer scores. You don't get marked down if you ask, can you please repeat the question? Okay. You don't write the full question. You write some notes, like key words, so that you understand what to focus on, okay? Another thing, if you don't know how to answer the question, let's say, I didn't understand the question. Yeah, English is not my first language. Oh, they've used a completely difficult, language vocabulary. I don't understand. What do you do? And they repeat exactly in the same way.
Explain
What this, no, to use another words.
Yes. Yeah.
Rephrase, so what did you mean
Exactly, yes. So there are ways you could ask, or could you please clarify what you mean? Or could you elaborate, please? Elaborate? Elaborate? Like, give details what you want me to say. Details, like elaborate, give details, yeah. Break it down, thank you. Elaborate, give the details, break it down. Could you please break down the question, or could you please clarify what you mean, what you meant? So in this way, you don't say I don't understand, because it doesn't look good. So you never say I don't understand. And it's okay to make pauses. You know pauses? You can pause, because as I already said at the beginning, you always think that you are too slow. And if, for example, if you don't know how to answer the question, you have to make a pause. You have to pause, you have to stop and think before you say. So it's normal. And then you can just ask, oh, could you clarify what you mean? And it's pretty normal. It's pretty normal. And it doesn't work against you. Some people write the questions, some people don't. And you can do whatever you feel is best for you. Yes?
Вибачте, я хотіла запитати, можливо, консультацію з такого питання. Якщо як ви навели приклад про вашу подругу, що вона шукає вакансію, може знайти іншу роботу. Наприклад, якщо я маю роботу, я також шукаю іншу вакансію. От я приходжу на інтерв'ю, і вони запитають мене, коли я можу приступити, я ще маю 2 тижні працювати на старій вакансії, перш ніж мене звільнять. Як краще правильно відповісти на це питання? І, наприклад, якщо я кажу, що я зможу приступити тільки через 2 тижні, вони зможуть зачекати на мене, як це правильно обіграти? Якщо я, наприклад, ще не залишила цю стару роботу, я вже шукаю нову і ходжу на інтерв'ю, і от інтерв'юер питає, коли я зможу приступити, як краще відповісти на це питання, щоб не втратити цей шанс, але зрозуміло, що мене там не відпустять, бо я втрачу якісь виплати, якщо я просто кину ту роботу і треба відпрацювати ще 2 тижні, а ці як мене почекають? Можете щось порекомендувати в цьому плані?
Мені відповісти вам українською краще, чи англійською? Українською. Так. На кожній роботі, в принципі, на кожній роботі, куди ви подаєте, в компаніях, це є нормальний процес. І ви вказуєте, який період, notice period, це називається, ви повинні дати в попередній своїй компанії, щоб вони почекали на вас, коли ви зможете почати свою нову роботу.
Тобто в Англії є такий практика?
Так, звичайно.
Це не проблема?
Не проблема.
Що мене зразу не спишуть з рахунку?
Ні.
Таке
Ні.
Зазвичай дуже довго шукають.
Окей.
Цей процес займає, можливо,
А
вже
відпустки, може, 3
Ні, я просто з таким не стикалася, мені було цікаво почути.
Okay, let me give you an example. I applied for a job in February last year, 2024, February. My interview was in April. 2 weeks after the job interview, I got a job offer. I thought that it would be the following Thursday, but it was 2 weeks later. So I thought that I didn't get a job, but then, because I thought there would be 1 week, they said, okay, we will let you know by Thursday. Thursday came, nothing. Okay, I said, oh, okay, not successful. And then I got an email the following Thursday. So I waited for 2 weeks. So I applied for a job in February. I had my interview in April, and I started my job, my new job, on the 1st of August. And it's not about the holiday. It's not about the holiday. In my previous job, I had to give notice. I had to give 2 months notice. 2 months. So at the job interview, they ask you, what is your notice period? And I said, when I wrote the application form, I didn't check because it was somewhere in the contract that I forgot, okay? I wrote 1 month, okay? At the job interview, they asked me the question, what is your notice period? And I said, I made a mistake in my application form. It's not 1 month, it's 2 months. I've checked in my contract. And so if they want to employ you, they are happy to wait for you. So if you are the right person for them, they will wait for you. They will wait for you. And they normally ask you a question, do you have any holidays planned, for example? Because some people have some holidays planned, you know, some flights booked, and you have to say that at the job interview. You have to say that at the job interview. They normally ask you, but yes, they wait for you. So you don't worry, it's a normal process. You are not going to be forgotten. Yeah, you're not going to be forgotten. Okay, I just wanted to show you some more things. Like, this is a very good website where prospects. At the previous session that I delivered, English for Work, there was one lady, I don't see her today. She asked me a question. She remembered one of the websites that I shared with everybody like 1 year ago, and I forgot about it. And she asked me a question 2 weeks ago. No, when was it? 12th September. On the 12th of September. She asked me, what was that website that you shared with us, which was very, very good? And then I remembered, and I said it was prospects, yeah? Why did she want that? She told me that she found it very useful, and then she forgot, you know, she didn't use it for some time, and then she forgot the name. On this website, you can find job descriptions of different jobs. Let's say when you're applying for different jobs, you want to know what is expected from you, what are the expectations, and what are the requirements, what qualifications they want from you, what experience, what skills, and one more very important thing, the salary range, what you can expect. On this website, they have, they show you everything, even the training you have to do, even the qualifications they want for those particular jobs. So they are not vacancies, they are just job descriptions where you can find information, you know, about the job, whether it's suitable for you or not suitable for you, whether you can apply your knowledge and your skills from Ukraine to this job or not, and whether you have to study and what you need to do, what training do you need to do to be able to get that job. So on this website, prospects, you can find not just this information, lots of other information as well. So these are the questions, 7 good questions to ask at the interview. And yeah, so basically it's not just that. It's a lot. It's a very, very good website where you can find lots of useful information for yourself. And even when you prepare for job interviews, you can get the job description from here, and you can use the ChatGPT to produce the questions and the answers for you as well. Okay, I hope that I covered some of the things that I have planned. It wasn't very interactive today because of the technology problem. So, and here, when I share this link with you, you will be able to see all the resources here, all the questions and all the possible answers. And when you go through them, you can replace the answers with your own one, personalize them, yeah? So it just gives you some ideas, yeah? So lots of them, tricky interview questions, so like, why are you leaving your current position? And lots of other as well. Okay, right. Do you have any questions?
Недавно було якби таке не дуже перспективне інтерв'ю, провальне. Мене мій начальник запитав, якщо вас візьмуть на посаду супервайзера, типа в компанії, як ви будете мотивувати команду, типа?
Мотивувати?
Так.
Угу.
Що можна відповісти? Типу, ну бо я розумієте, якби це дуже специфічне питання, бо всі супервайзери, які до цього працювали, вони ніяк не мотивували, вони демотивували команду. Це реальний експірієнс більше, ніж 4 людей, які за час роботи з нами, ну просто реально в тоску вганяли, інакше не скажеш. Як можна відповісти на це питання? Ну от як можна мотивувати людей?
I was asked the same question when I was applying for the managerial position where I am currently working. Because when you apply for this type of jobs, this is the question you should expect. So how would you motivate, the team? How would you make sure that, that they listen to you, that you,
Як заставити, як ви будете робити, щоб вони вас поважали? Мотивувати їх і як вони, що робити, щоб вони вас поважали? Ці два питання, які мені так, якби...
Okay. Right. So you can answer this question in different ways, actually. But when, for example, it comes to this type of questions, when you, as an employee, for example, you are working under the supervision of the manager, yeah? Are you happy with your manager? What are you not happy with? So when I am asked this type of question, I normally put myself in the shoes of that employee who is working under the supervision of that manager that I'm not happy with, okay, let's say. So what are you not happy with, and how would you change that? So for example, I would treat my staff in the way I want to be treated, with respect, when there is mutual understanding, respect and support, then people listen to you, then people respect you. So mutual respect, support, understanding and active listening, and you are treating people in the same way you want to be treated. So my answer was very simple to that question when I was asked that question. I don't like to be treated unfairly and badly, so I would treat people in the same way I would like to be treated. I would respect my staff, I would listen to them, I would support them, I would provide them with the training if they struggle, I would make sure that we work as a team, and I want to be, as a manager, I want to be a part of the team. I don't want to be outside the team. So a good manager is a manager who works as part of the team. And so this is my answer, but my answer doesn't come from the book. My answer comes from my own experience as an employee who has worked under somebody's supervision, let's say, that I wasn't happy with, or that, for example, I saw some areas that I would improve, let's say, that I would do better. Because you can see better, as an employee, you can see better what is not working well. The manager might not see that. So that's why what I think that when you, as, which area, what was it, the restaurant?
Central product kitchen.
In the kitchen.
We prepared food for 17 restaurants of London.
So a good manager is the manager who knows the work from the bottom up to the top, and is the person who understands and who supports and who creates a positive atmosphere, supportive and positive and understanding atmosphere. That would be my answer. That would be my answer. That's what I said. I don't know. I think that, sorry?
100%, I agree with
You agree with me?
This is works, and I would say also you can add that you can find each person of your team to find their values, which is important for this job, for the team work, for example, or if it's something personality. Yeah? And you can say them, like, you can let them know that you see their values.
Їхня важливість, типу.
Цінності. Що ви цінуєте, ви розумієте їхні цінності.
Або для teamwork, ну, що цінне.
Я розумію вашу презентацію, вона дуже хороша, але вона в плані того, як би сказати, для компаній на одну сходинку вище того, де зараз, ну, скажімо так, я працюю. Я не можу сказати, що в мене погана робота, але в нас якби проста виробнича компанія. У нас, як я приходила на роботу, влаштовувалася, проходила співбесіду, не було нічого цього. Мені сказали, доброго дня, мене повели в цех, мені показали, ти будеш робити оце, і мене фактично на другий день взяли на роботу. Не було цього інтерв'ю, не було цих всіх, бо їм потрібна була робоча людина. Це не успіх, це просто фабрика, де треба, вибачте за пряму мову, вйобувати. І там дуже тяжка робота, і там прийшли наступні дівчата, вони подивилися, що треба по 20 кг мішки з рисом таскати. Вони сказали, ми не створені для такої роботи, вони на другий день вже не прийшли на цю роботу.
А якщо люди не створені?
Ну так я ж нічого не кажу, кожен себе любить, кожен себе поважає, кожен обирає, чи він готовий це робити, чи ні. Ну я просто веду до цього, що типу, ну, це простіша компанія, і вони якби трошечки по-іншому до цього відносяться. І зараз мене зацікавила вакансія в цій ж самій компанії, але якби на позицію менеджера, якби на одну сходинку вище. Але я попробувала в цьому місці, де я працюю, в цій ерії, запитати за цю ж саму вакансію, кажу, мені задали це питання, і просто за той час, що я працюю в цій самій ерії, у нас змінилося 4 супервайзера на цій позиції. Ну, за той час, що я працюю, я застала 4 людини підряд, яких було взято. І якби з їх досвіду я не змогла знайти відповідь для себе. Якби, ну, я розумію, що я відповіла дуже тупо, порівнюючи з вами, бо я сказала, що я би їх слухала, якби підтримувала, там, допомагала чим могла. Ну, просту таку відповідь дала. Я розумію, що ну просто я була до цього не готова, бо я запитала це питання, потім пішла в відпустку, я зрозуміла, що мені ця робота не світить. А вже аж коли я повернулася, вона мене покликала, ой, давай поговоримо про це. І якби абсолютно не була готова до цього, я просто відповіла, що я думала.
І який ми урок з цього винесли?
Ну, вже треба було підготуватися. Це саме
Preparation is the key.
Yeah.
Preparation is the key to success. And the lesson and the practical experience, and it doesn't matter what type of job that is, the answer is the same. When I answered this question, so how would you make sure that you motivate and inspire your team? I would act as a role model. Role model? Mm-hmm. Yeah? I would act as a role model. So when the people look at me, at the way how I work, they will be taken an example. So I will be acting as a role model as well. So that is just one more addition to the answer to that question. So yes, there are different levels, different types of jobs, but how shall I say, but the answer is the same. And the people are the same. And it doesn't matter whether it's at this or at another level. The attitude is the same. Mutual respect, understanding, support, and being the role model. And one more very important thing, critical feedback. Constructive, not critical, sorry. Constructive feedback. Critical.
Yeah, it's time to...
I'm very tired, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Constructive feedback. So not many people know how, as a manager, you have to say, you have to speak to your team, and you have to tell them if they underperform, if they don't do very well, okay? So this is a skill you have to learn if you don't know how to do that. So imagine if somebody tells you that you do something wrongly, or you've made a mistake, or you don't know how to do something. How would you react? How would you want this to be conveyed to you? So imagine the manager telling you off for something, that you haven't done something. How would you feel? So negative, horrible, right? So it depends how this information is presented, yeah, how this feedback is presented. So that's why it's a very important skill to have and to gain as a manager when you, for example, assess somebody's performance, and when you say this to the person who is working. So first you say what they do very well, and things that they have to improve. You have to learn how to say that in a positive way, not in the way that the person would feel negative about it and will be demotivated and will not want to work at all. And will close the door and say, bye, see you later. Okay.
Have you learned about how to give a feedback? Have you learned how to give feedback from Zoryana? Please.
Constructive feedback. Yeah, constructive feedback.
Not criticize.
Not criticize, very positively.
I think this is a very important skill that we all have to learn.